Lubinka, many thanks for being today on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm very, very grateful that we got a chance to chit-chat.
So you do online courses and you're a professional translator at the same time.
I mostly do subtitles. That's my main occupation. But because of the fact that I have a certification with Bulgarian Foreign Ministry, I can also do certified translations. But I mostly do subtitling for now. It's just so very much accomplished. You know, there is a saying in Bulgarian, when people brag about themselves so much, all their friends ask them, did the gypsy woman die? Because normally when the gypsy women, they would approach you and they would say, let me tell you your fate. And then they start, a lot of nice things are going to happen to you. You'll be rich. You'll meet an amazing partner or whatever. So the gypsy lady is the one who just heaps praise on you and promises you. So when you start bragging about yours, I think my gypsy lady...
When she's not there and you start doing it, then this saying comes in.
Somebody has to do it. What to do?
Can you say the saying in Bulgarian? How is it? Can you translate that? Is that translatable or is it?
It is translatable, but it's so many years that I haven't heard it in Bulgarian that I have to take a moment to think about it. Циганката, дето те хвали, умряла. That's what you say.
Wow, that is. We will later on take this.
Okay, I'll just type it to you in Bulgarian, in Cyrillic.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, and we're in the middle of the conversation already. That's great. So LocLunch Espresso Thessaloniki. You are the ambassador, and not just 2 editions. You have already 18 editions that I have on record in Thessaloniki. So, Lubinka, what brought you to Thessaloniki? You're Bulgarian. You have German as well as a translation language.
Yes. Well, ever since I remember myself, I really like languages because I grew up in communist Bulgaria. Instead of our foreign language was Russian. So I started learning Russian in elementary school. And then I went to a German school in Bulgaria. We had 3 elite schools, German, a French, and a Bulgarian. And so I was lucky enough to go to the German one. And then I studied Greek philology. And then I came to a seminar in Greece. I met my future husband, the famous Greek lover. So, well, that didn't work out that well because after 25 years I divorced, but...
Well, come on, 25 years. That's a decent amount of time.
Yeah, I think I gave it was nice and now it's also nice. Never mind, I have 3 wonderful children here with him, so... But the point is that I love languages, and when I came here, actually, I learned Greek even better than I had learned in Bulgaria while studying Greek philology. And it's very funny because my children speak much better Greek than the people who have both Greek parents and I'm Bulgarian. And sometimes their peers are kind of don't really understand what they are saying because I'm influenced them. Generally, my Greek is very academic, I would say. So I use a lot of...
So your kids come after you?
Yeah.
It's a good mixture.
I mean, instead of saying, do you want some tea? I would say, how do you feel about having some tea in the afternoon? Or something. I mean, why phrase it simply when you can phrase it in a much more elaborate way?
Wow. How did you become a translator?
Well, that was literally the only, I could also teach, but after studying Greek philology, it seemed like a natural choice.
So and you started straight away? After the university, you started as a translator?
I took some time to raise my children because I wanted to spend their first years, be hands-on mom. So I'm not really sure that they are quite grateful for that because they never got a single moment alone.
But maybe they have learned all the linguistic skills from you. As you said before, they speak perfect Greek.
I think that this the whole Earth being a global village is something that I see daily, not only in my work but even in my family. Last year, my daughter traveled on Euro train pass because she's
Interrail.
Yes, so she spent a month in France and no, all over Europe. She was traveling, but she met the first thing when she arrived. She met a guy in France. They formed a relationship, and because of that, she decided I should learn French. And because of the fact that I've given her a lot of good, how to say, I generally encourage them to learn languages. So she learned French in a year, even if the boyfriend
in Paris.
I mean, Greek lovers here, French lovers over there. I think we are a very erotic family. I don't know. It's difficult to hide.
That's so good, Lubinka.
Yes.
Wonderful. What was your biggest challenge by raising 3 kids, you said, and start working as a translator? How did you cope that?
Actually, to be complete, initially I started mostly doing subtitles, but on a voluntary basis. So that I did that just as a hobby while raising my children. In the morning, they would go to school, and after finishing my household jobs, I didn't really have much else to do. So I decided, to do some subtitling just for the fun of it. And that coincided 2 years after I started doing that. Came to Greece, they desperately needed subtitlers. I happen to know the technical part of subtitling because it's not simply knowing a certain language, and the rest is history.
And afterwards, you got this opportunity to teach it in the university, or
no,
it's online?
The best private school. I mean, it's a school that is only focused on translation studies. So they teach legal translation, they teach financial translation, among others. They teach also subtitling.
What's the name? Because this might be interesting for everybody who is watching this video and maybe thinks about a career in translation in the Thessaloniki area, right?
They teach it in Greek, so it would be interesting only for any Greek audience that you have. But the school is called Metaphrasi, which is literally the word for translation. Attended some of their classes in the past. So I've been through the whole process, being a student, now being a teacher. So it's actually very nice. One of the best things about teaching is that you actually get to meet people, because otherwise translation is a very lonely profession. And that's also the main reason that I started, I saw my Athens colleague organizing those lunches in Athens. I was like, And I was kind of both lucky and unlucky, because when I signed up becoming a LocLunch ambassador, it coincided with the beginning of the lockdown.
Right. I saw the first
yes.
LocLunch you did was online.
Yes, so you advised us to do that with my colleagues who were doing this in Athens. And we were very lucky because I got to meet a lot of people all around Greece because of the fact that they could join, given that it was online. And never know how a very small thing will have, the consequences go further in time. Because of the fact that I started doing those lunches online and I met a lot of people virtually, after a lockdown was done, I actually went to to many LocLunches in Athens, of course, because I hadn't met
51 LocLunches in total in Greece. That is a good number. It's about 28 in Athens, I think.
Yes. They are doing amazing job. And I met them in person because I hadn't met them previously. And then I had some colleagues in Crete who organized an impromptu meeting. I met them as well. I met people in Volos. Volos is the Tsipuro capital of Greece. I don't know if you know what Tsipuro is. Volos is famous for, they serve very small bottles of a sort of brandy. It's a Greek type of...
This is Ouzo? Is it Ouzo or... Similar?
It's a bit similar, but I mean, it's the same type of alcohol, but different taste. And they have very small bottles, so you order one bottle and they bring you 2 or 3 small plates of the way tapas are served. So by the time you are drunk enough, you're also fat. I mean, I think I'm seriously considering taking on the Volus's LocLunches as well, just for
So
getting an
there's a good
opportunity.
relation between culture, food. Food is important, right? In Greece.
Yes, yes, yes.
And being together,
I really
family.
don't know how long other lock lunches last, but we meet at 8 in the evening normally, and then we pretty much close the shop when we are leaving. So, um,
Closing the shop. This is good. I think I know that from some of my lock lunches I've attended. When it comes to this dynamics, and it's so nice, and you have the possibility to chat about translation work, about our industry, about whatever. It's just this opportunity to discuss with people like-minded. That is rare. I mean, rare in our industry in general.
you know, one of the best things about these meetings about lock lunch is that by now, you said I've had 18 meetings. So by now there is small group of people who always attend, and by now we know each other very well. So it's a much more personal relationship, much more personal conversations. We meet even outside of the LocLunch initiative. So you form unexpected friendships, and especially when these friendships are with colleagues who know the challenges of your task, of your job, it's sometimes much easier to communicate, because sometimes then you don't pick up the phone, let's say, and they know that you're probably busy even though it's 10 o'clock in the evening, and they can relate that you don't have working hours. Most of us, I really admire people who have working hours in our industry.
Sounds
I mean,
familiar. Sounds familiar.
when I grow up, I'll try to learn this skill as well. Eventually, there's time. I mean, I'm still bright and
Let
young.
me ask you a question about professional questions.
Yes.
So you say you translate for, which is a huge production in subtitling. How do you see AI, and what's the talk about AI and the future of translation in Thessaloniki at the LocLunches?
Well, that's a conversation that always comes up. I think that we will still be much needed, because certain types of translations, especially subtitling, they do need human touch. AI cannot discern images, they cannot discern register, they cannot discern a level of politeness. Greek is a language that has grammar, genders, so AI cannot discern if you are addressing a man or a woman, and the adjective that you are using needs to be grammatically appropriate to the visual context. So for the time being, I think we need to kind of work with it, or learn how we can utilize it to our benefit. A lot of straightforward translations will probably be taken over. But honestly, discussing with my colleagues, I see a lot of examples of texts that they're called to post edit, and those texts are complete hallucinations. They are just totally off. And I think that most of my colleagues, they charge pretty much the same rate for post editing as for translating from scratch. And when their clients are curious, why do you do that? They answer that for me it's easier to translate it from scratch than have my creativity being curtailed by the examples that, I mean, when you read something, it might not be the best, but it's good enough. I think that good enough is going to be the ruin of many professionals. So, and you don't think of something much more creative, more imaginative. Whereas if you didn't have those examples produced by AI, you would come up with something much more Imagine it. I remember I saw that Nike ad about a woman basketball player who broke some record, and the caption was, "You break it, you own it." So it was very, very, imaginative, and AI cannot come up with such an odd expression that would actually capture the huge success that this player had.
I see it. You're a teacher as well. So what do you tell your students? What is your advice for a young or not so young new entry in our industry?
You
What do you
know,
say them? Tell them.
a lot of the people who come to our LocLunches are actually new colleagues that are just entering the field. And I'm very happy that they actually, first of all, I'm very happy that there is this initiative in the first place, but I'm also very happy that our young colleagues embrace it, because when they come, they get to discuss with more experienced colleagues. And first of all, they find out a lot about the rates, because when I started, I didn't have this opportunity and I didn't know what to charge or how to form my prices. Whereas now there are a lot of guidelines that we share among ourselves, or even rates, so that our newcomer colleagues know that if you charge a very small rate, you're actually undermining the whole market, apart from the fact that you're not going to be able to support yourself and probably will think of changing career path. So this kind of dialogue is very useful for the older translators, because they kind of get to influence the market to our benefit. And also it's very beneficial for the young translators who get into a very competitive market, and they don't enter this market as blind people, but they have some. And it's amazing. Back in the day, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's been something that's always there. People have this scarcity mentality, whereas attending all those LocLunches, I can honestly say that actually all my colleagues are very generous with their advice. A lot of new collaborations come up because the main language is Greek, but for example, I work with Bulgarian or German, or there are other people who work with Serbian or Romanian. So a lot of new collaborations can come up from that. And especially the indoctrination, let's say, in a positive sense, for the new colleagues is very, very helpful for the whole industry that we have.
It's sort of a mentorship, right?
Yes.
It's like
yes,
a mini mentorship,
yes,
what happens at LocLunch. That's wonderful. I have prepared a super little game for you. And I want to understand if you would translate or transcreate, okay? So I give you an English sentence and you say translate or transcreate. And if you can, why? Okay? So first thing, it's raining cats and dogs.
So would you want me to translate it into Greek?
Huh? Yeah.
Okay, that's easy. I mean, there is a very similar expression. In Greek, they say chair legs. So it's raining chair legs. I'm not really
Okay, so it's a transcreation, right?
There is a set expression. So it would be transcreation if I would come with, like, it's raining, I don't know, stones.
Okay,
Anyways.
excellent. Next one, the Greek phrase. And now I have to pass completely on my Greek because I can't either read nor speak Greek. But it translates, he who hurries stumbles. Does it sound familiar? How would you handle this for an English-speaking audience?
What's the word? What's the expression? I can think of the ancient Greek translation, but not of the English one.
He who hurries stumbles.
In ancient Greek, they say, I don't know. I cannot think of it right now.
No problem. No problem. Last one. There's a local saying, Greek idiom for bad leadership, which is the fish stinks from the head. Is that something that resonates?
Well, yeah, because Greek people, they're sea people, so they actually a lot of. I mean, I'm mostly Greek by now, living
Is
here
that
for
a
such a.
literal translation or creative
It is a
adaptation?
literal translation, but it's actually because of the fact that it's so to the point. I imagine it manages to give the same impression that
So
it
let's
intends.
hope that we are not stinking from the head because then we have
No,
good
we
leadership.
never. Actually, that honestly, I mean, I don't want, I know that I don't know about your gypsy lady, but allow me to say that you've done an amazing job. Honestly, we are very grateful for your initiative. You've given the worldwide, the translator community, you've given us a huge gift and we really appreciate it. And whenever the conversation comes to how this LocLunch started, I always tell them, well, there is this German guy, and he's such a nice guy, and he's such a smiling guy, and such a positive guy, and I'm like, okay, slow down.
You are too gypsy. You are too
No, no, no,
gypsy.
no. I'm always very enthusiastic when I speak about you and your initiative because the benefits that we are reaping are, the ripples of those benefits are so many that honestly, I wish someday that I could touch the lives of small percentage of the people that your initiative has touched. So,
You do it. You do
well
it
done.
already. And that is Thessaloniki. Thessaloniki in
Well,
Greece. There are two people.
I watched some of your other interviews, and I see that I should start traveling more around LocLunches and visit other cities. I mean, I've been to Volos, Athens, and Crete. Apart from Thessaloniki, so I've been to 4 in Greece. Maybe I should expand my horizons and go to Dublin, for example. Why
We
not?
should recruit a couple of new ambassadors for Greece in different
Yes,
points.
yes, I am completely in favor of this initiative. Whenever I go, I try to urge people, but I think that they don't have the time. Honestly, when I started, initially it was difficult for me to get the format. Now, after 18 meetings, done, done, done,
It's
done, done.
fast, right?
Yes, yes.
LocLunch should be easy as possible. If it gets complicated, it's not LocLunch.
Well, I think that everybody finds, their footing. Initially, I tried to book different places for us. At the end, I realized that there is one place which is the port.
The riverside, right? With these fantastic views.
Yes, so there is easy
So beautiful.
parking. It's not in the city center, but it's at the edge of the city center. People can park. It's not very far away. There is bus station across the street. So I was like, let's make my life easier, not try to find amazing new shops. Once in a while, yes, if somebody suggests it, but otherwise,
It must be convenient for you. You are organizing it,
yes,
so
yes.
then
Nobody's
everybody is
complained.
happy. Exactly.
Nobody's complained.
Lubinka, half an hour of recording. Fantastic. I might have to cut a little bit,
Yes, of
but
course, of course. That was in your initial email, so
there was there was fantastic stuff in here.
I'm
I
very happy
thank you
that I
very
got
much.
a chance to talk to you. Honestly, I have huge appreciation for you, and I'm very happy that I got the chance to be on your show.
And we are super happy to be with you in Thessaloniki and
Well,
to learn to get to know you. You are our hero in
I just
Thessaloniki.
hope that whenever you travel to Greece, you make a point to stop in Thessaloniki. A lot of my colleagues from all over the country, they visit Thessaloniki every once in a while. So whenever somebody is visiting, I take the opportunity and organize a lock lunch. So there are colleagues from all over the country who don't really have a lock lunch in their city, but whenever they're visiting Thessaloniki, I always make sure that I organize a LocLunch for them.
Fantastic.
Please come. We have
What
amazing
would
food, amazing people, amazing weather. Not right now, so come after April or May. But other than that, I do
I
hope that.
will. I will. Lubinka, one final question. Three things. So I need three places. Somebody who comes to Thessaloniki shouldn't miss. Your favorite places. What are your favorite places in Thessaloniki?
Okay, well, the port is one of them. They've renovated and they've done an amazing job. Also, there is a huge seaside walk. That's one of the best features of Thessaloniki, and they have an installation with some umbrellas that are, very high. So everybody needs to take a picture over there, and it's across the White Tower. So the White Tower is the emblem of Thessaloniki. And I think you should definitely go to Aristotelou Square and to Terkenlis pastry shop, because Thessaloniki is famous for a certain type of sweet bread called tzoureki. So that's the type of sweet bread that many Balkan Slavic people make for Easter. So it smells amazing. It's it has eggs, it has butter, it's some spices. It's amazing. And here in Thessaloniki, they put chestnut puree in it and they cover it with white chocolate. So you definitely need to try this. It's one of them.
Now we're talking about food. 2 plates
Oh,
that shouldn't miss on a LocLunch. Ideal LocLunch, what food should be on the table?
Well, maybe not the LocLunches. We don't always eat. We mostly gather for drinks. But if people come to Greece in general, they should try the fish, because the fish here is amazing. Small
It's
fish,
grilled
big
fish. Grilled fish, no?
Yes, but also the fried fish that we have, it's amazing. There's so many different varieties. I myself, I could eat fish for the rest of my life. Fortunately, I'm not forced to.
Tzatziki, what about tzatziki? Moussaka?
Well,
Stereotypes?
these are the things that people who would come as tourists, you should definitely come with me. If you definitely want to eat tzatziki, by all means do. But if you are to eat moussaka, it should be homemade. And tzatziki is also very good if you fear that you might encounter some vampires, because it has a lot of garlic.
The security distance.
In case you don't meet any vampires, you may chase away other people.
So tzatziki for vampires and tourists.
Well, probably if you use public transport and you eat tzatziki, that might come in handy, because not many people would come near you. So I can see the benefits.
I want to come to Thessaloniki
Please
to join
do.
you at your LocLunch and to spend a good time with the local LocLunch community. It looks so good, amazing.
Wishing you all the best, and I'm going to watch many more of the episodes of your show. Although those people are amazing, and I'm very jealous, so now I need to visit many more cities.
This is why I created this format, because this way we can travel together.
Yes, exactly.
And I bring you to the world of LocLunch with LocLunch Espresso. Lubinka, that's it.